My favorite part is when he sues his ex-best friend because he stole Facebook.
This is the see that? It's happening. When did this start working here? This is a brand new segment. Affirmative action comics. Oh, I get it.
It's a play on words, right?
Affirmative action.
Oh. Comics. Now, the reason we're calling it this is because what they've been doing is they've been taking superheroes that have been traditionally been white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, and they've been changing them to either be replaced by black or Hispanic people taking on those identities, or they're actually in the movies going as far as to recast white characters with black actors or others. And then also now what they've done, for example, is they've taken the Alan Scott Green Lantern and they've said that he's gay.
Yeah.
So not that there's anything wrong with that.
Exactly. So now all we're here to debate, a lot of people say, well, they should just create new characters to be black or Hispanic or...
Why does it matter what the race is of a guy in a costume? I don't get it. Like, who cares if he's black, white, as long as he's doing the Spider-Man thing or the, you know, like...
Well, kind of, here's a little bit of the problem. See, because Spider-Man's
takes off his mask.
Spider-Man's been white since he was created.
If they like cheese or they don't like cheese, like...
But you know what? Okay, let's ask this question then. In the Ultimates version of the Avengers, Nick Fury was changed from white to black.
Because it was an Ultimate Universe.
Because he was based.
In that sense,
now,
if you start with a white character and you change to a black character, that's too bluntly obvious of a change. I wouldn't agree with that.
Hey,
however,
Nicole, that's kind of what we've been talking about.
No, we're talking about
Calm
both.
down.
We're talking about having a black character take on the role of a superhero, and we're also talking about changing someone who's always been white to black, or someone who's always been straight to gay. The argument,
but that could happen.
But
there's been some
but here's the thing.
In that sense, I agree with you guys. Then they shouldn't start with a white character and have the same name on a
Okay,
different...
but now let me point out something. All 99% of every superhero that's ever been created has been white, has been Anglo-Saxon with an Anglo-Saxon name. Bruce Wayne, Clark Kent, Peter Parker, Bruce Banner. They all have these generic American names, and yet the creators were all Jewish. Bob Kane wasn't Bob Kane.
Sounds like a
Stan
wash.
Lee was Stanley Lieber. All of the creators of all the superheroes are all Jewish, and yet they created these Anglo-Saxon superheroes. And so now what happens is you have this 70-year history of superheroes that are all Anglo-Saxon, and yet the readers are only, well, I'm sure that the majority of them are Anglo-Saxon. We have a lot that are Hispanic, that are black, that are Arabic, and they're not represented by the superheroes. So for the critics that say that they should create new characters, I argue, how can you create a new superhero that's going to compete with a Batman or Superman when they've been around 70 years? You can't. There's no way to create a new superhero that's going to compete.
Think of your own idea and create them from scratch.
You could, but no one to compete with Superman and Batman.
Well, the one that I'm gonna listen. This is when the struggle of the Jewish immigrant to America started creating these comics. It was a struggle to fit in. So now, if you want to write that struggle of an idea in a story, who modern day struggles, right? You got your African American. So, like you're saying, why can't we take these already idealistic icon characters and change them over?
Oh, I know why. Because it's stupid.
Why
is it stupid to take an idea and a classic story?
The only one I agree with is gay because Anne Hesh was gay. Now she's not.
I just don't
That's it.
care.
Wait.
It happened in real life.
No.
Spider-Man shooting his web like this. How are you supposed to know if he's gay or not? How
Wait a
does
minute.
that
Listen,
change
that's
us
the
at
only
all?
one that can really change. Because listen, the character was created white. They've been white for 70, 80 years. Okay, now because they want to change a character, they want to make him black. Listen, and Luke Cage. He's cool, man. Black Panther, nothing wrong. What I'm saying is the character was created like that. Just keep it like that.
How are these characters that have been created and now part of our iconic ideas of our day-to-day life, they can reboot every 2 years? They can retell you at the beginning of every Superman comic, he comes from Krypton, and then his parents lost him. But we can't take that as a vehicle to tell the plight of another ethnic group or someone else who's suffering. We can't change the genre to do that.
You know what? They should
Write a new comic.
They should just redo Motown and just have all white and Hispanic singers.
A new hero.
Come on.
No, but here's the thing, though. But I have to point out that there's institutionalized racism in creating the characters because even though the creators were Jewish, they would probably want to ideally create. But the thing is, if they wanted to create characters that come from their own experience, then the characters would be Jewish. But they didn't. They had to adapt it to what was mainstream at the time.
So
the majority.
There were no blacks in 1938.
Well, here's the thing: is there were blacks, but when they introduced characters like the Black Panther, there was actually a fear that those comics would be rejected by readers in the South. So there was a fear of violent retaliation from racists in the South. So,
and Luke Cage and blah blah blah.
yeah,
Whatever.
And so the point is though is that if you have that racism that's repressing you, that's censoring you, then now that some of that's gone, I think you
I would
have
say, at least in this country, it's gone. In Canada, that pressure and that idea is gone, as far as I'm concerned.
You can't just change Spider-Man. He's not going to be the fourth movie. He's going to be a black guy. Like, it's just not going to happen.
Actually,
that way.
you never know. But
I think
you never know. But I probably wouldn't go to see that movie not because he is a black guy, but because it's just not the character following.
But you know what though? To me,
if it was a completely different movie that I was into, a completely different comic, and it started out as any race or as any preference,
it could end up being a chick with purple hair.
and I loved it.
You never know.
But you know what? To me, as long as he's nerdy, then why does it matter if he's black or Arabic?
I think what we're all trying to say is it doesn't matter if you're black or white. That's what we're saying.
I think Michael Jackson.
Thank you, Michael Jackson.
I think honestly, one day if Batman just all of a sudden black, it will not affect the story.
No, it
wouldn't affect the story not one bit. If it was
no,
the
but
same
I think
writer,
no. I'm going to say this one last thing. It can affect the story, and it can be well done. If all of a sudden they want to rewrite Robin, and they want to take Robin and make him, and they want to make Robin a homosexual who's attracted to Batman and the idealism of that strength and the whole thing, and you find out later on that he's in love with Batman and then has to deal with that rejection and the whole thing, and you tell this whole story of like love and loss, and it's a well done story.
Who wants to read that?
It's a well done story.
What now?
Okay, if it's not a well-done story, you can't just wake up black.
Okay, hi.
You can't just
But
wake
they
up
have done good stories like this.
And if you restarted
Samuel
the whole
Jackson
story,
is a brilliant Nick Fury.
If we go back to the movie, they restarted the whole
Started
story. They started from the beginning. This is Spider-Man, blah, blah, blah. This is Aunt May. Same whole start over from the get-go. It's same. They could have started him any color, any race. It wouldn't have changed.
They could have, but they didn't.
They
and that's the end of
didn't.
the story.
It
It's
has
like the
not been
longest debate
55
in the history of the show.
He complains a lot more than he's worth, eh?
Yeah, I do. I complain a lot.
Jeez.
They did change Spider-Man from American to English, and no one complained. He's British now. He's a British actor. But I want to point out something else: is where does it ever say that Superman is a Caucasian? He's from frickin' Krypton.
He could be an alien with 5 arms.
Is he not from America?
For 80 years.
That's all I gotta say.
Could be anything.
I have a final point. There are no Italian superheroes. You're not represented.
There's none.
No.
There's also no Chinese delivery guys in porn movies. Let's move on.
Well, that's all we have time for today. I want to thank George, Tom and Frank, Stan Lee, Spider-Man, our guest Nicole, and all of our fans. Thank you very much. Good night.
That's gay, but not the cool gay where you get to have sex with men.
Snap.
1, 2, 3, action.
Comic book?
Oh, it's right on there.
Comic book
Syndicate.
kind of like Avengers, but with comic books.
Yeah,
I got
exactly,
it.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh? Oh, what? Steve Ditka. Oh. That's what I said. You mean Mr. Octopus?
No, it's Dr. Octopus.
Wait.
Figure it out.
Yeah,
I
just
have
yeah.
to pee.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Bane up in this piece in a second, all right?
Well, that's what I've always said. They let those heteros out of the basement way too early. Well, like I've always said, those breeders. Oh, you teach them how to reach around, all of a sudden they reach too far.
I would love to see all the cuts you guys have.
Right on set?
Not pleasant.